1,000 points of Ultramarines tonight. I'm going to be bringing a patrol detachment led by a Primaris Lieutenant with a Mastercrafted Stalker bolt rifle. He's going to pay 1 CP for Adept of the Codex just to try and refund some of those CP points. In the troops, we have 2 squads of 5 intercessors, both equipped with bolt rifles. Fast attacks, 3 inceptors for that backfield shenanigans stuff. They're going to be equipped with assault bolters. And then I dropped the Gladiator Lancer in this battle and will be bringing 3 Outriders. See if I can have some success with those. They are quick. They do have some wounds on them, so I'm going to be rooting for them in the battle. And then over here on the right, we have 3 Eliminators, all equipped with las fusils. And I love taking my Redemptors. So 2 Primaris Redemptors, both equipped with macro plasma incinerators, chest-mounted storm bolters, underslung onslaught Gatling cannons, and then the points were there for the Icarus rocket pods. So that's it, 1,000 points. Let's see how they get on with the Genestealer Cult.
Here we have 1,000-point battalion of Genestealer Cult. They are Twisted Helix, which gives them +1 strength, +1 to move, and then on 1s and 2s they can't be wounded. They're a little tougher. And they're being led by a Primus and a Magus. And then I also have with them the character, the Nexus, which allows you to project the Primus's ability across the battlefield and get some extra crossfire markers. For troops, I've got some basic neophyte hybrids. They'll be complemented by a bunch of neophyte hybrids in a Goliath truck. And then I have a total of 3 5-person or 5 model squads of the Acolyte hybrids. One of them's kitted out with a couple of hand flamers. The other ones have some industrial weapons. One of them is going to be in the truck. I think the other 2 are going to be underground to start. And then I've got a bunch of fast units. I've got my 2 Achilles Ridge Runners over there, and then back over on this side, I have got some Adelan Jackals, hopefully to run around and get some objectives. And then last but never least, I've got my Pure Strain Genestealers. They're a unit of 5. They've got a trap sprung proficient planning, which means if they charge from coming from underground, I roll 3 dice and drop the lowest. So a little bit more chance of getting that initial charge off. So that's exactly 1,000 points.
Adeptus Astartes won the roll-off for Attacker Defender, chose Attacker, made Chris pick, and then deploy first, but it's all blips. We'll get over that next. So let's get to the roll-off for first turn. Genestealer with a 5. Ooh, Adeptus Custodes. Ultramarines with the big 6. So, first turn. I don't know. We'll see how that works out. So let's go over deployment. All right, so deployment for the Ultramarines. We don't know where the Genestealer Cult are. All the blips have been placed. But as far as the Ultramarines go, we kind of have a split left-right flank here, mostly on the right. But on the left, in the Cathedral, we have a unit of 5 intercessors, and then backed up by 1 Redemptor Dreadnought. So they have at least some targets a further field in front of them. In the right flank, we have the 3 Outriders. Again, kind of waiting to see where to go with them. They are kind of a counter assault type of unit, especially at 3 strong. 1 Redemptor holding down the right flank. He's kind of tucked away in the building, out of line of sight. We do have the Eliminators up top. They kind of have a wide range of what they can see, and then tucked on the home objective in the building here is 5 intercessors, and the lieutenant is in the middle, kind of passing out his little aura. These objectives on here, as you see, are the specific secondary objectives for Genestealer Cult. Essentially, Chris has to get to them. I got to place them, and then Chris has to get to them and do an action. So hopefully we'll see some of that action during the game. And then just real quickly,
so here's the Genestealer Cult. There's something here, and there's something here.
Yes.
There's something there and there. There's something there. There's something there. And there's 3 things over here.
Yes. So we don't know where the Genestealer are. Fluff-wise, it makes sense, right? So I have first turn. Essentially, I move at the end of my movement phase, then he reveals his locations, and then I get to shoot, hopefully, at something. So let's get to the movement phase. Ultramarines movement phase has completed. Starting on the left flank, 1 intercessor, Brave Soul, stepped out of cover and is on that objective, just to be on there. See how long he lasts, but we'll probably take saves from inside first. This Redemptor did move out. He went right. Does have some shots on things further afield. It's pretty open. What we're essentially doing, the buildings on all 4 corners are obscuring. The building in the middle, since it's a little lopsided, that is, we're treating it as essentially an industrial structure where you can, if you can see through it, it's just -1 to hit, just to make things even. On this side, the Outriders stayed put. They're revving their engines. Intercessors spread out a bit just to screen some objective grabbing in the middle there. Lieutenant shifted over, and then the Redemptor shifted right here again. It's going to be Redemptors and Eliminators shooting. On this side, the blips have revealed themselves. Looks like a pretty symmetrical deployment as far as the vehicles go, so Chris can go over.
Yeah, I got a Ridge Runner on each flank, and Goliath trucks in the center. Remember, one Goliath truck has a squad of neophytes, the other a squad of acolytes. I've got my Primus and Nexus in there, and we've got my bikers in the ruins revving their engines ready to come out. And then over on this side, I've got my Magus and my squad of foot-slogging neophytes.
Yep. So he's got a pretty spread out, but he's got the models to do it. So let's get to the shooting phase. Shooting phase completed. There were some shots fired. We supercharged both the Redemptors. This Redemptor here did roll 2 1s. I did re-roll one of those 1s, did not refund it, just to keep him. So he took 1 mortal wound from that. Ultimately, I rolled abysmally. It should have been a dead Ridge Runner, just because I rolled 4 2s on the wounds. Mm-hmm. So and that would have gone right through the AP, and it would have done 3, 6, 9, 12 damage. So, but we only did, what did we do? We did 3 damage to it, so it is down to 5. On this side, the Eliminators also, they whiffed horribly. So, and then this side here, we rolled 5 shots, which was good, but ultimately, just didn't do too much with it. But we did 6 damage to the Goliath, so I'll take that. Remember, the Goliath does have the -1 damage. It's a super tough vehicle, very similar to the Redemptors. So it is down 6 at 4 remaining. And then this one bold intercessor did make a shot at it, and nothing happened there. So let's, kind of a light first turn, but let's get to Genestealer Cult, turn 1.
All right, so it was pretty much an advance up straight for most of the units. The Ridge Runners went up the outside. The Goliaths went up the middle. Jackals came out. The one slight difference was that this unit unloaded first, then advanced up here to get in the center objective, and then this wounded Goliath truck rolled up a ways after them. This unit spread out on that objective some, and the Magus got a good vantage point from which he could see the entire battlefield. Also got off because he happened to be able to see a mite from beyond to those guys in case they end up in combat in the next turn. And that was movement.
Been completed by Genestealer Cult. Everything essentially shot over here.
Well, this half shot this, and the Goliath. The 2 Goliaths and the Ridge Runner shot over here. Took out 2 Marines, I think.
Yeah, 2 Marines fell. I did play Transhuman just to keep them alive. We have 3 of them there. And then over here on the right side,
the Ridge Runner shot up into the guys on the roof.
and they got their beef saves with their camel cloaks and being in cover. So
yeah, hard to get through that armor with the cover and their specialness.
yeah, so pitter patter on both sides. Actually, I think it'll all come down to assault. But you can see how deployment lines Chris has shifted forward into no man's land with the bulk of his army.
And with my Genestealer Cult stratagem, it's going to add up.
Yes, we're gonna tally the points, and this is turn 1, so you'll see the points
Not
on
stratagem.
screen.
Secondary.
Secondaries, yeah. All right, you saw the scores on the screen. We are in top of turn 2, Space Marines movement phase. Basically just getting out of deployment. I don't know if that's wise because we do have people coming in behind me, but I got to bring the fight. This mission is Ascension, so extra points for that center objective. We're going to get out and fight and see how long we last. Over here, these guys just shuffled over so they can shoot out the window. The Redemptor moved up for his full 8 inches. He has some targets to shoot and charge. These guys, 14-inch move. Look at that. Outriders revved up, spun around here, and again, they have options. These intercessors moved out from behind here. They're still on the home objective, but yeah, we're going to provide some bolt rifle shots into where we need it. Lieutenant moved up a level onto the building. Eliminator stayed put. They have a pretty clear field of vision on the board. And then this Redemptor moved up as well. He's got some options for both shooting and charging. So let's see. Oh, and Inceptors came in. We do have Assassination in this one. So we're going to try and do some backfield shenanigans like they normally do and put some heat on the HQ units. And not the Warlord, though, right? Warlord. Actually, the Warlord's down there, yeah. So we'll see who we're going to fire at in there. So let's get to the shooting phase. Shooting phase went very well for the Ultramarines. They unloaded all of their clips into the encroaching Genestealer Cult. So over here, we'll start on the right. Redemptor supercharged, split his fire between the Ridge Runner and the Jackal, the bikers. And as you can see, the Ridge Runner has been destroyed. No additional mortal wounds were taken. I did not supercharge, actually, just because it was pretty weak. And then we brought down 3 of the bikers with the Onslaught Gatling cannon. Then over here, we'll kind of go in order what we shot. We opened up with the intercessor units. They were in rapid fire, and they took a healthy, 3 off of the neophytes in the middle. Because the main thing we wanted to clear that objective.
So you shot them off and got the Ascension.
Yes.
Secondary.
And then these guys rapid fired as well and took out the rest. On this side, the Redemptor over here split fire, brought the Ridge Runner down to 4, and then ultimately wounded the Goliath. Didn't kill it. And then the Eliminators up top took out the Goliath in the end. And then these guys shot at the Ridge Runner.
And you got your money's worth out of the... Was it Tactical Doctrine?
Tactical Doctrine, yeah, because...
You got a bunch of extra AP that really worked for you.
Yes. And then back here, did really well with killing, essentially,
You shot at the Warlord, the Magus, and he took a bunch of damage. With that last damage, I used Unquestioning Loyalty, and the Nexus threw himself in front of and took that last hit, so that I still have the Warlord, because in this mission, without your Warlord, you don't get command points. So Nexus took one for the boss.
Yes. So let's get some assaults in. I'm going to try an assault here. Might as well to get in and trying to finish off that. We are going to assault over here, there, and that is it. So we will see what we get. Assault phase, another fortunate turn for the assault. Rolled to get in there, and we did roll a 9-inch charge to get into there. We did play Hammer of Wrath just to finish that last wound off. I didn't want him remaining, so paid 1, but the Adept of the Codex Warlord trait did pay that back, so we're still at 2 CP. And then over here, I got into the Jackal and just killed them on one swing. So that is it. And then I consolidated into the Goliath to tag that as well. So let's get to bottom of turn 2. Genestealer, moving phase, bottom of turn 2.
Yeah, we unloaded some of the acolytes here, moved up to try to do that sabotage secondary that the Genestealer Cult has. Backed the Goliath out of combat to get to that center objective. Ran up the Ridge Runner over here and then dropped in my guys who were underground. These guys came in, he auspex scanned and killed 2 of them. I've got my Genestealer, Piercing Genestealers all the way over there, and another squad of acolytes that came in the back.
And they all came in 8 inches away, right?
8 inches away because of Genestealer Cult.
Genestealer Cult. So let's get to shooting phase. Or psychic, any psychic?
Nothing that's going to be worth that.
Shooting phase pretty quick. Hand flamers.
Hand flames came in, did nothing. The Ridge Runner shot in, killed one guy, wounded another guy.
Played transhuman on that just to save it from that.
And had some pistol shots just over here for the heck of it, and nothing happened.
So on to the charges. You want to do the charges on, since we have it?
No.
No. Self phase ended up, what we did over here, we get charged.
These guys made it in. They killed the couple Marines that are over there.
Exactly what they needed.
Over here, these Pure Stream Genestealers got in there, and they get lots of attacks. And they killed the lieutenant. They consolidated into the other unit because they were going to get shot to death if they weren't connected or they weren't in engagement range. But those Marines got good hits back when they, because they consolidated into them, they were able to get their attacks in and killed 3 of the 5.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's that. You'll see the scores on the screen, and we're heading into turn 3. So the scores on the screen. We are at top of turn 3. Take that off there. Movement phase. Redemptor over here just shuffled and is going to do what he does there. These Outriders moved up. We're going to take on the Acolytes. Eliminators stayed put. They still have, that's what snipers do. These Ultramarines, Intercessors, did fall back from the Genestealers. They are Ultramarines, so they get their fall back and shoot.
I forgot that when I charged in.
Might want to hit, though. You never know.
Whatever. You do what you got. If it was somebody else, it would have made sense. I can't remember all. One Marine's another Marine.
This Redemptor over here, just shuffle a little further on here. Going to shoot that and possibly get a charge. And then over here, the Inceptors are heading off out to put some shots through the windows at the Neophytes. So that is it for movement phase. Let's get to the shooting. Shooting phase, another good round of shooting from the Ultramarines. Redemptor over here did take out, split all of its bolter shots and stuff into the Acolytes and killed them, and then Macroplasma incinerated the Ridge Runner away. This, the Outriders brought down 3 with their twin bolters, and then the fallen back Ultramarines did nullify the last remaining 2 Genestealers. This guy over here, he did supercharge, did 2 wounds, so he's down to 10, but ultimately brought the Goliath down to 2 wounds. Eliminators tried to pick it off, but they could not. And then over here, shooting, we brought 5 of the Neophytes down. So charges, what we're going to do is Outriders into Acolytes in the middle there, and we're going to charge that Goliath for the ascend points. End of turn 3 Ultramarines. We still got Chris's to go, but in the assaults, they went in and did, they put out a lot of attacks. I like that. And then this Redemptor did get into the back of that Goliath and punched it down with 3 hits. So that is that, people. On to bottom turn 3. Chris's turn, we wrapped it all up in one.
Yeah, I'm running out of units, so I ran the Acolytes over there to do the sabotage objectives secondary that the Genestealer Cult has. Ran these guys over to the windows to shoot out, and they shot some. In the psychic phase, this guy came over to Smite was okay. He did the Sonic Blast, did a good one on him, but he also took mortal wounds. So yeah, just a couple points off of there, and got that secondary done.
Yep. See it on the screen. New battle report with Chris is back in town with the Genestealer Cult. People have been asking for some more Genestealer Cult on the channel, so I'm glad we could get this game in. At 1,000 points, it was pretty close. You could kind of see through the points. Close until turn 3, the end of turn 3. After that, the game was over, as you just saw. It just came down to lack of too many models lost on the Genestealer Cult side. The Ultramarines really stayed strong. I mean, when you look at just the kill count in this, it was primarily all Genestealer Cult, with, I think we lost Lieutenant and 1 unit of Intercessors, sprinkled in with a few other wounds here and there. But you can kind of, I mean, the scales were tipped there, but Chris was really putting up a fight with the points. At the beginning of turn 3, he was in the lead. Even at the end of turn 3, he was in the lead. But when you extrapolate what was left, Chris had half a unit of Neophytes. He had his Vegas, and then he had 1 unit over here of Acolytes. When extrapolating all that out, the Ultramarines would have just taken it away. They would have scored max points for the primaries, so that would have been 24 points, and then additional kill points for cleaning up the rest of those Genestealer Cults. So Ultramarines get the victory, but for what it is, up until turn 3, it was actually a pretty neck and neck type of game, which Chris is really good at playing, into those secondary objectives and primary objectives, which I think, 9th can be a lot of doing. If you do it well, you're going to score your points, even if you're taking a beating, with the casualties. Talking with Chris, those Redemptors were just hard for the Genestealer Cults to crack into. I mean, the Ridge Runners, the Goliath trucks, we didn't really get into combat with them, with rock cutters or rock saws or anything like that. So the Redemptors stayed strong. They had a surplus of wounds, so they were supercharging and not really caring too much about any mortal wound, splash damage from the mortal wounds from their macro plasma incinerators. So overall, interesting battle. I think the battlefield was absolutely awesome. I like this all gray board with the gold statues. We're actually working on a few more of these gold statues to truly make a shrine world, an imperial shrine world. But fun battle. Hopefully, this battle was our. You got to come up with a term for it, but it's essentially our fast version, our fast template, where we don't show the dice rolls. We're gonna do future forward. We're gonna do a mix of that, both dice rolling. And it all depends on the time we have to film it. The players that we have, guest players coming in to actually play. Sometimes they just like to buckle down and get to the game, which is fine. And sometimes we have a little bit more time. Maybe it's on a weekend or whatever. We can actually show some dice rolls. So there'll be a good mix of that. I think I'll title them on screen on the YouTube channel. So for people following us, they can. Well, I mean, you can tell from just the length of this video versus dice rolling video, but I'll put a title on there just so people can, if they're interested in just dice rolls only, they can feel free to just watch those if you want. But MVP of the round, I'm going to give it to the Redemptors. They were pretty beefcakey when it comes to just putting out a huge amount of shots. They're very versatile as far as, they have the anti-infantry guns, they have the anti-armor guns. They're really good in close combat, and they're resilient, with the -1 tier damage on that as well. So MVP goes to both Redemptors. On the Genestealer Cult side, I'm going to give it to... I'm going to have to give it to some of the Acolytes that got out of the Goliath there. They scored a healthy 9 points. I know they eventually fell, but they helped Chris score a lot of those points. I believe it was called Sabotage Critical Objectives or something like that, where the earlier in the game, if you can sabotage those critical objectives, you get a lot of primary points, which Chris did it. So that was good on them. So, quick one, fun one. Let's get to the next one. We do have a few. Actually, we have if you remember Eric with his Adeptus Astartes, and we have a new Challenger coming in to play with us shortly, so you'll see videos of that soon. So let's get to it. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe as always if you've been enjoying the videos. We have been growing. You know, the subscriber numbers keep going up. Puts a smile on my face just to see people enjoying the board, the armies, the gameplay, and all that good stuff. So keep at it. Have a good one. Until next time.